Have you ever noticed that some people reach a certain level of financial progress and then just stop? They save enough to feel comfortable and the growth slows. They start investing and then fear begins to take over. They hit a milestone they once believed would change everything, and somehow the next level still feels just as far away. What most financial education never addresses is that building wealth is not a single journey with a single mindset. It is a series of distinct stages, and each stage requires a completely different way of thinking. The mindset that gets you to your first $10,000 will not get you to your first $100,000, and the mindset that builds your first $100,000 will not build your first million. In this video, we are going to break down exactly how your relationship with money must evolve at every stage of building wealth, and what happens to people who refuse to make that shift. Let's dive in. Stage 1, the survival stage, $0 to $10,000. This is the financial starting point for the majority of people. Income covers expenses, savings are minimal or non-existent, and every unexpected expense feels like a crisis. The dominant emotion at this stage is financial anxiety, and the dominant behavior is reactive. Spending decisions are made based on what is urgent, not what is strategic. The biggest psychological obstacle here is what is known as a scarcity mindset. When you are under consistent financial pressure, your brain becomes so focused on immediate survival that it genuinely becomes difficult to think long-term. And it is a cycle that is very hard to escape from the inside. The shift that is required here is moving from a reactive mindset to an intentional one, and you do not need a lot of money to make that shift. Start by automating the smallest possible savings contribution before anything else gets paid, even 1%. The goal is not the amount, the goal is training your brain that saving is a fixed behavior, not a leftover behavior. The first $10,000 is not wealth, it is the foundation of financial safety, and that safety is what makes better thinking possible. Stage 2, the foundation stage, $10,000 to $100,000. In this stage, you have built your first financial cushion. The emergency fund exists. Debt is either eliminated or actively managed. Income may be growing, and yet something unexpected often happens at this stage. Progress slows, not because the resources are not there, but because the mindset has not kept up with the opportunity. The dominant mindset at stage 2 is what we can call a saver's identity. Saving feels safe, investing feels dangerous, and the psychological gap between putting money somewhere safe and putting money somewhere it can actually grow is far wider than any spreadsheet would suggest. The biggest financial cost at this stage is not choosing the wrong investment. It is the fear of investing at all. The shift required here is moving from thinking of yourself as a saver to thinking of yourself as an investor. Start by educating yourself on one investment vehicle, not all of them, just one, until the uncertainty around it is replaced by real understanding. Then make your first investment as small as the fear requires. The amount does not matter. The goal is to break the identity barrier between saver and investor. Once you cross that line, everything changes. Stage 3, the acceleration stage, $100,000 to $500,000. By this point, compounding has started producing results you can actually see. Investment accounts are growing in meaningful ways. The financial anxiety of stage 1 feels like a distant memory, and yet many people at this stage run into a new problem, one that is rarely talked about. The dominant threat at stage 3 is not risk, it is complacency. When money starts growing on its own, the urgency that drove early financial discipline begins to fade. Spending creeps up to match the growing sense of security. Investment contributions stay flat even as income rises, and the person unconsciously shifts from building to protecting. This is lifestyle inflation, and it is one of the most reliable ways that early financial discipline eventually stalls out. The shift at stage 3 is moving from a protection mindset to a builder mindset. The compounding engine you have built needs to keep being fueled to produce what it is actually capable of. Establish a lifestyle cap. Decide now that your discretionary spending stays where it is and that all income growth goes directly into investment contributions. Begin asking not how much you are earning, but how much you are accumulating in assets that will grow without your direct involvement. That is the question that separates the accumulation stage from the wealth stage. Stage 4, the legacy stage, $500,000 and beyond. At this level, the foundational work of wealth building is complete. The compounding engine is mature. The financial threats that define the earlier stages are understood and managed. And yet the people who reach this stage without making one final mindset shift often find themselves in an unexpected place. Wealthy in assets but unclear in purpose. The challenge at stage 4 is a question that becomes impossible to ignore. What is all of this actually for? Without a clear answer, financial motivation can decline significantly. Risk-averse behavior can limit further growth, and a growing disconnect can develop between your financial position and your sense of who you are. The shift at stage 4 is the deepest and most personal of the entire journey. It is moving from building personal abundance to building a legacy. In this stage, you need to define what the wealth is ultimately for. Not as a vague idea, but as a specific written vision that includes the people, the causes, or the impact that your money is designed to serve beyond your own lifetime. Begin thinking seriously about wealth transfer and estate planning because generational wealth is lost. Not because of bad investments, but because the mindset that created the wealth was never transferred along with the assets. The most durable financial legacy is not a transferred bank account. It is a transferred way of thinking about money. The thread that connects all 4 stages. Looking across all 4 stages, one pattern is impossible to ignore. At every level, the primary obstacle is not a lack of resources or a lack of opportunity. It is always the same thing. A mindset that stopped evolving. The survival mindset keeps people reactive when the situation demands intentionality. The saver's mindset keeps people accumulating when the situation demands investment. The protection mindset keeps people defending what they built when the situation demands continued growth. And the personal abundance mindset keeps people focused inward when the situation demands a vision that extends beyond themselves. What the most financially successful people understand and what most financial education never teaches is that wealth is not a destination. It is a continuous process of becoming. And that process requires not just the right strategies, but the willingness to consistently update the beliefs and identities through which you see money. So there you have it. 4 stages, 4 mindset shifts that nobody tells you. The one thing that separates every level is not money. It is how you think about money. Let me know in the comments which stage you are in right now. Do not forget to like and share the video with someone who needs to hear this. Subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you never miss new content.